So today's webinar will be focused on creating your products. Here, this is kind of where you'll automatically go once you log into your Pietra account. So this is our sourcing marketplace. There are several ways to source and then several ways to source specifically on Pietra. So I will go through all of that today in this webinar. Basically, with regard to sourcing products, I will just gear this webinar kind of in the merch and apparel space. I did see that somebody had mentioned that that's what they're looking to create. It is a very common category that we work with. That being said, the structure of how to do these things and the ways in which you can source on our platform will be the same basically for all of the categories. So I will just focus on merch and apparel today, but certainly don't feel that the process is much different for any other category that you might be interested in creating products within. With regard to creating products, there are two distinct pathways that a creator might go down. The first would be private label, and the second would be fully custom. If you're not familiar with these pathways, private label is more so if you are looking through the catalog of different suppliers, finding products that you're interested in maybe making very minor customizations to, such as adding your logo to it, obviously like if it's clothing, determining different sizes, picking the fabric that you want to use, things like that. But otherwise, it's really just very minor customizations. This will allow you to order samples to test the quality. And then once you find a product that you're interested in, you can simply add those minor customizations with your supplier and then resell that product for a profit to your customers. That would be the private label pathway. Then with regard to the fully custom path, this would be if you are truly looking to make and design your product. So this would be if, again, like in the apparel space, if you were interested in very specific dimensions, or if you had an idea for a specific stitch on the product, or a very specific makeup of the fabric, or specific colors that might not already exist within a supplier's catalog rather, all things like that, fully custom product. So most of our suppliers, which is really great, and we've taken the time and care to onboard suppliers that can accommodate both pathways. So just as a personal anecdote, I'm currently working on a t-shirt line that I'm getting ready to launch in the next couple of weeks. I originally went down the private label path. I thought I just wanted to kind of find a t-shirt that was aligned with what I was looking to create, maybe do a very minor customization, add my, logo on a woven label, something like that, and then just resell. Once I went through the process of sampling to see the different colors and the different fabrics and things like that, I ultimately liked attributes of one shirt and maybe the collar of one and the fit of another and the color of another and the way the pocket was on one and not the other and things like that. So I ultimately actually worked with my supplier to do more customizations than I had originally intended. So just like I said, most of the suppliers on our platform can both accommodate private label products where you just pick things from their minor customizations and resell, but also working with you to make a lot more customizations and to do fully custom products. So definitely keep that in mind as you get going. Your mind might change, and the supplier that you're working with may be able to accommodate that change of heart. So really great that most of our accommodate that. So definitely just keep that in mind as you get going. Now, once you have kind of initially decided the pathway that you want to go down, there are several ways in which you can source with Pietra. So here you'll see in the create product section, these are all of the different categories of products that you can create with Pietra. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see that you can specifically filter out for the products themselves, packaging, as well as freelancers. So I will go into each one of these things in more detail, and we'll start off with the products. So for the product itself, again, I'm just going to go into the merch category. I did see somebody had mentioned they wanted to create vintage t-shirts. Again, merch, apparel, things like that are super popular categories with Pietra, so we'll just gear the webinar towards that. So with regard to the merch category, hopping in here, you'll see that there are two ways in which you can source that really align with exactly what I had mentioned before with regard to private label and fully custom. So right here on top, you'll kind of see different suppliers that you can go into their profiles. We'll go into the browse all section in a moment, but this would be suppliers that you might be interested in more so in finding the right partner for your business, interacting with them, collaborating on those fully custom samples or fully custom products, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let's say you wanted to go down the private label path. You'll see as you scroll down, there are specific products that you can actually order right away. So here on the left-hand side, you can filter for the exact item that you might be looking for. So let's just click on one of these products. Let's see here. How about this one here? So you'll see they kind of display here that this is where you might be able to do your logo, that you can discuss customizations with them. You'll also see the different colors that they offer for this product. And you can immediately go in here and just order samples, add it to your cart. Not sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to first do this. So let's say I wanted to get a large and I wanted to get it in black and pink. Add to cart. I can check out, never even having spoken to the supplier, just because I saw this product. It's similar to what I want to create, and I want to test out the quality, the fit, what the color actually looks like in person, things like that. So you'll see here kind of as you're scrolling through, you can head to different products. Some of them you'll be able to order right away. Some of them are more customizable, so you'll be able to request a quote right from the supplier. Let's just hop into a couple more here where you can just order right away, just so you can see what that looks like. Again, you can just order those samples right away, add it to your cart, check out, and those will be produced and sent to you as soon as possible. So you'll also see with regard to the samples, what they quote as their production time, what they quote as their minimum bulk order quantity, things like that. So this is if you were, just coming in, you had an idea for a specific product, you wanted to just immediately start ordering samples, you can do that right from here. Now, let's say you wanted to do something a little bit more fully custom. This is when you might be looking into the supplier profiles. So up here at the top, you'll see suppliers who can make custom samples. Tap this browse all. This actually takes you to our supplier directory. So you'll be able to see all these different suppliers that you could potentially work with and begin conversations with. Again, you could, if you had wanted to, let's say you saw this product before you wanted to order samples, maybe you wanted to contact them first and start a conversation to see kind of what they can accommodate. You can also do that right from the page where you would be ordering a sample. But going back to the supplier directory, this is where you can also filter for other attributes that might be important to you. So maybe it's important to you that the supplier is female owned or can accommodate low MOQs, which if you're unfamiliar, that stands for minimum order quantities. Maybe it's important to you that they use sustainable materials. So these are all attributes that you can filter for. Then let's just hop into one of these. Let's see. Let's look into good for Sunday. So here in their profile, you'll be able to see a lot of information. These profiles are structured in the same way for all of the supplier profiles that you'll see. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see where they're located. You'll be able to see what they're known for. You'll be able to see what their average response time is, what their average production time is, things like that. And then you can see some of their past notable projects and clients. You can also see a preview of their catalog and things like that. Now, right from this page, you can also begin those conversations. So you can go right here into this chat box. You can request a quote or just ask any questions that are outstanding that you may want answers to right away. Like I kind of said in the beginning of this business class, the process really is meant to be collaborative. So any of these questions that are super important to you to know the answers to right away, absolutely make sure you're asking the supplier. So you'll see here are some common questions that you can ask suppliers. Maybe, your budget is super important. So you want to ask, you want to get a quote on price. Maybe the minimum order quantity is for the product that you're looking to create. These conversations are also just a great way to test out the communication style of these suppliers, how quickly they respond, see if those quotes are accurate, things like that. So this is, the pathway if you're interested kind of off the bat in finding a business partner, finding out which supplier is going to be most aligned with your business and what you're looking to create and things like that. You can press this contact supplier button. It'll scroll you right down to this chat box, and then you can start chatting with them directly. Now, the third way in which you can source products on Pietra is actually a feature that is one of my favorite on our platform. And that's this request custom project button. You'll see that right here on the home page. You'll see it right here. You'll see as you're in here. I guess that's actually not in that section. You'll see it in a bunch of places, this request custom project button. Now, what does this do? You'll tap this button and it actually opens up a form for you to fill out. You'll be able to name your request. You'll be able to create a super detailed description of what you're looking to create. You'll be able to designate how many units you're looking to produce, what category it's in, as well as any reference photos. So let's just use the example for myself. I was looking to make t-shirts. So I put in a request. I said, I'm looking to make t-shirts. My t-shirts are actually terry cloth material. So I said, I'm looking to create terry cloth t-shirts. I'm looking for more of a relaxed fit. I'm looking to create about 200 units. I'm looking for various different colors and kind of a more summer vibe, things like that. I was super descriptive with what I was looking for. I was able to indicate I'm looking to make 50 to 250 units. I, of course, put the category as apparel. And then the reference photos, I put a couple of clothing brands where I knew that I purchased from them, and I really like the way the fit is on those shirts. For you, if it's, if there's maybe something that's already in your closet, in your wardrobe that you're looking to create something similar, you can attach a photo. Or maybe there's, again, like myself, there's a product of a brand that you purchase from all the time and you're looking to emulate that brand and create something similar. You can attach these reference photos as part of your request. Now, once you create that request, what it does, it actually posts a bulletin out to all of the relevant suppliers in that category. They will then start reaching out to you proactively with, more information with regard to whether or not they can collaborate with you, whether they can accommodate what you're looking to create, things like that. The reason I recommend this feature is because we have more than 700 suppliers across more than 30 categories. Going through the portal just by yourself, going through the different items for samples, or maybe going through the supplier directory, we totally understand that this can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're kind of a beginner and you don't maybe know exactly what you're looking for. By creating this custom request, it's just a great way to get people to essentially come to you. So you don't have to do as much work, and you'll just get some inquiries from suppliers that are interested in working with you for your project. So I definitely recommend that feature. And what it's also really good for is, just as we were discussing earlier, it's a great way to test out how, who responded first, who has the fastest response time, who has a communication style that is to your liking, things like that. So it's a really just kind of great way to have people come to you, test out these things, and, kind of get the ball rolling. Awesome. So definitely recommend creating a custom request. And you might be asking yourself now, okay, so I've sent some messages to suppliers. Some suppliers have sent messages to me. Where am I going to see that? So you'll see right now, I actually have a message from a packaging supplier that I'm working with. Whenever you have messages in your inbox, you'll see this banner right here that'll come down, letting you know that you have a new message. You can open your inbox right there. If you don't have any new messages, but you want to go ahead and check the messages that you've sent and things like that, you'll see right here on the top right-hand corner, this little button that says Inbox and Orders. Tapping on that, or that inbox link that I showed you earlier in the banner, this will take you to your Pietra inbox. So this is where all of your messages with any of the suppliers that you've contacted or they've contacted you, this is where they'll live. Any invoices that they issue to you can be done right from within the messages. Any outstanding invoices will be in this section. Any orders that you've already placed, the list of suppliers that you have active conversations with, this will all live in this inbox. So what's also really great about this is that many of our suppliers are international, many of them are domestic, If you hover over any of these messages, you'll be able to see what the local time is for these suppliers. So right now I'm in New York. Looks like the packaging supplier that I've been working with is also on the East Coast. So the local time is the same as myself. That being said, the supplier that I worked with for my actual product, they were based in China. So right now it says, local time 4:18 a.m. So, it's really just good to keep these things in mind as far as time changes and things like that, so that you are set up for the most success and you understand, okay, like if I send my message right now, I'm obviously not going to get a response right away because it's the middle of the night wherever my supplier is located. Now, there's also the ability for you to create custom packaging. So this is not something that you have to do right away, but it's actually something that I recommend to a lot of people depending on their budget. Creating custom packaging is just a really great way to begin that relationship with your customer, for them to see that the care that you've put into your products, even down to the smallest details from the point where they are unboxing their orders. So again, this is not something that you have to do. If you are using Pietra for your order fulfillment, we do have unbranded, cardboard boxes and poly mailers and things like that that don't have any logo on them, that are free of charge to you if you are using us for your fulfillment. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but like I said, it's really just a great way for brand awareness, for beginning that relationship with your customer from the moment that they receive their order, things like that. Now, you don't even have to create, just custom boxes or poly mailers, but we also have creators that have made custom tissue paper or stickers, note cards, tape, things like that. So again, just a really great way to get your branding out there, to get your logo and design recognizable, even from the point before they open their packages and see what their orders actually are for your products, but even from the point where it arrives on their doorstep. So this process works in the exact same way as creating products. You're able to communicate with different suppliers. We have packaging suppliers, domestic and abroad, and you can create all different types of items. So again, depends if it's within your budget, depends if it's something that you're actually interested in. This is not mandatory. This is just an additional service that I think is super cool. And we have a pretty robust network, and there are all different types of packaging that you can create. So definitely recommend coming in here. How about if I receive the orders to myself and not you guys? So if you are doing your own fulfillment, then there would be no reason for you to have to connect your Shopify to Pietra, because we are not handling your order fulfillment. How long does it take for suppliers to respond for a custom request? So it depends. Just as we went into those supplier profiles, they're all going to have different cadences by which they respond. I would say most of the time, suppliers are responding within a few business days. So, maybe if you're not getting responses, be a little bit more descriptive in your request. Maybe, just try some new things. But again, for the most part, suppliers should be responding within a few days. And if you're not getting responses, again, always feel free to email in and we'll be more than happy to check into it for you as well. If you sell your products on Instagram, is it going to be under the Pietra account or your own brand account? In this case, it would be under your account. If you are, again, using Pietra for fulfillment, you can connect your Instagram shop to Pietra so that if your customers go to your Instagram shop to place their order, it'll immediately communicate to our warehouse to fulfill the orders. Great questions, guys. Really love the input today. Okay, so the last section here, as far as sourcing with Pietra, is the freelancer section. So you might be thinking to yourself, whoa, I'm a beginner. I really am just starting out. I have an idea for my logo, but I'm not a, graphic designer. Maybe I am interested in creating a website, but I have no idea how to get started. Maybe I want to do a photo shoot for my products that aren't just, product photography, but I want to do more of a lifestyle shoot where, if I'm creating t-shirts, I want to bring models out to a pool or to the beach and, photograph them as a lifestyle shoot. We have a super robust network of freelancers that you're able to access and hire directly on the platform for any ad hoc projects. This is where, just like I mentioned, if you need help with your logo, you can hire a graphic designer. If you need help with your website, you can hire a web developer. If you're looking for help with your marketing or brand strategy, we've got consultants and strategists that you can hire directly from the platform as well. Just as we were speaking earlier about creating custom products, especially in the apparel space, it might be helpful for you to get, some help from an apparel tech pack designer. So these are really cool designers that can help you, create these technical sketches with exact dimensions that you can then submit this design directly to your supplier, and they can create, exactly what you've been envisioning. I know myself, I'm not a designer by any means. So when I wanted to create my t-shirts, it was really tough for me to get the right dimensions, to explain exactly how I wanted to do it. Ultimately, I was able to, but I definitely could have benefited from some help from a technical designer. So definitely something to consider. Now, again, with all of this, just as I mentioned before, that this is where your messages will be, this is where your invoices will be. There will be some suppliers that, you work with that might be international or might, for whatever reason, have a different communication preference. We're working to have that happen less and less. We're working to potentially integrate WhatsApp, for example, with Pietra. But if your suppliers, if the freelancers that you're working with request to speak with you off the platform, that is okay. If they want to set up a video call with you, or if they want to communicate via email, or if they want to communicate via WhatsApp, like I just mentioned, that's totally fine. We encourage you to stay on the platform for communication, but if either of you prefer to communicate off the platform, that's fine. However, and we really urge that anytime you are transacting, so anytime you are submitting a payment, anytime your supplier is submitting an invoice to you for payment, that this all takes place on the platform. The reason that we urge this is because if it takes place off platform, there's really no way for Pietra to protect you in the event that there are any issues. Now, I'll tell you firsthand, those issues are very, very few and far between. That being said, if there are any miscommunications, or if there are misalignments with your expectations, or if there's a problem with the order, or what have you, if you did not transact on the platform, there's just simply no way for us to protect you in the event that there are any problems. So definitely make sure that you are paying for your invoices and transacting fully on the platform. That kind of wraps up everything with regard to sourcing products with Pietra and sourcing packaging, working with freelancers. But if you have questions or are feeling overwhelmed, definitely check out our FAQ section. You'll see here on the right-hand side, we have this little educational resources tab where there are some downloadable materials that you can take a look at. So definitely feel free to check those things out, but always feel free to write into us via email, and we're more than happy to assist.